just like I like it.
Pretty big fish to fry. Pretty big fish to fry. My, oh, my. My. It's pretty big fish to fry. It's pretty big fish to fry. My, oh, my. Last weekend I very thought I'd make it out alive. Told myself I'd take some time and give the world a try. I wasn't alive. My, oh, my.
Oh, everybody, it is Thursday. For those of you checking us out, January the 18th. Those of you on Facebook Live, Wednesday, 17th. It's the premier sports and beer podcast coming to you from New Jersey. We got DC checking in tonight. It is Low and Outside. You can check us out, lowandoutside.com. Thanks for taking the time to join us tonight, everybody. We definitely appreciate your listenership, if that's a word. Let's go. Let's get going.
Why don't you go back home to your street malls and drink your Zimas and Smirnoff Ices? Oh yeah! The greatest beer in all Zephyr!
Somebody from the bar.
Yeah, I like cool beverage, yeah. I like cool beverage, yeah. I like cool beverage, yeah. Cause I'm feeling kind of parched. Stick it in the fridge, stick it in the fridge, stick it in the fridge.
All right, tonight I am going with a beer from the Bronx Brewery. It is their B-Tracks series, I suppose it is. Oh, here it's called OPP. I think that's a little nod there. Orange Pistachio Porter. Checking in at 6.4% alcohol by volume. I've had it before. We had it on Christmas Eve. I don't really taste much orange. I don't really taste much pistachio, but I do taste porter. So this is making its way down my gullet by way of Christmas Eve. So here's to you. Brett and Denville, welcome.
Would you say you are down with OPP?
Yeah, you know me. I mean, that's just kind of how it works.
Well, yes, that's true. Well,
Yeah.
it's the most wonderful time of the year. It's regular coffee time from Carton. This is my favorite beer. They do. It's probably in my top 3 all time. I just love it. So when you hear coffee or you say coffee and a beer, right? Everybody thinks
dark.
Stout.
Yeah.
Stout it up.
Yeah.
Let's get that roasty coffee. They go Imperial Cream Ale with this. And it fools you on sight, it tricks you on the color. And then they try to incorporate what they say is that typical Jersey regular coffee with milk and 2 sugars. So it's got a little sweetness in it. They calm it down with some lactose, but it can bite, man. It's in that 12%. It's a 12%er.
Oh man.
Have another one.
It is absolutely delicious. There's no other beer that's ever made like this. And they do some pretty rad variants. I'm bringing back the word rad just in case you guys didn't know. So if you hear it a couple times,
I'm glad somebody is finally bringing it back. It's important.
That's pretty rad.
they make a couple rad variants, a Mexican one, and they did a German one this year. So I'll probably have them on the show sometime in the next week. But it's fantastic. Great beer.
Is it easy to get your hands on?
No.
So like if I wanted to go up there now and get it, it's gone.
Oh, it's gone. It was gone in like a day. I didn't even make it. I obtained mine through trades. I went down for the variants this past weekend.
Oh, you're trading beers. This is
yeah. And
Beer nerd.
And
it all started when he was trading fish shows back in college, and now it's
super hard. But Jeff, maybe if you your best bet would be to just keep your eyes open for a place that's going to throw it on tap.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's a couple places around here that'll have it on tap. So We'll see. Live from the playroom with an awesome poster behind him that says playroom.
We reconfigured the playroom, so now I'm sitting in a different location.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks like you're either a gentle giant or it's just forced perspective right there. I don't know.
I think it's forced perspecsttive.
Nice.
You look like you're sitting at one of those plastic tables with the tiny plastic
I
chair.
am. Wait, hold on. I am. Hold on. For all those of you listening, this won't make any sense, but
Come on.
a tiny table and a tiny chair.
Yep, there you go. All right, makes sense.
Awesome.
I've been sitting on this every show.
Are you still? Is this still the dry month for you? Yeah. Oh, good.
As Brett would do.
I got a new one, Dave. So hopefully it won't be the best.
That's all you need to know.
Actually, I have a side water out of a swell cup.
We got like
which is pretty
Spinderella Dave Yampolsky over there tonight.
Yeah. Fucking assholes.
Good. All right, let's go.
Who cares?
First one, hot off the presses today. We had two offensive coordinators from two very respected offenses let go today. First, from the Pittsburgh Steelers, Todd Haley let go. Second, from the New York Jets, John Morton let go. So
who?
Yeah, that's good, right? Let me do the Jet thing real quick, and then we can actually have a conversation about Haley, because I think Haley's an actual legitimate candidate for, some other jobs that are open. Morton was there for 1 year. He was coming off of the Saints staff, and he made a bunch of guys that were really nobodies play respectable football. And I think it's kind of embarrassing, unless it's a mutually agreed upon thing, to fire that guy, because he had absolutely nothing to work with. And I think you got to give him some time, a couple of years at least, if you actually value him as a coach. Maybe they don't. I mean, I heard rumors that they were just going to let him go so he could go join Gruden's staff. That was the rumor that was around Jetland. So who knows if that's the case? But in the end, that matters to nobody except for a few Jet fans that thought he did a pretty good job in spite of a really awful roster. The Haley thing, you guys watched those games last week. I mean, he looked like he didn't have a single idea how to call an offense.
You know what just is mind-boggling to me, and I don't remember if I was talking to you guys about it or not, but it seems as though you get into these like critical situations in games, or you get into a game where all of a sudden, it's a playoff game, and everything you've done for 16 weeks and the preseason and camp just goes out the window, and you just start doing asshole things.
Yeah. Like
Ben Roethlisberger lines up from 4th and 1 and tries to draw him off sides, and then pulls out and resets, and he's 280 pounds. If he can't get if he can't get half a yard on a QB sneak, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you watch the Patriots and they line up on 4th down, they're going for it. Snap the ball, go, get the first down, done. No turning to the sideline, no trying to draw people off. You get the fucking yard and be done with it. It's like insanity.
The best word that I can think of with the Pats is like a 4th and inches, like the play you're talking about with Pittsburgh last week. A 4th and inches for the Pats is so transactional.
Yeah, business as usual.
It's just line up. Everybody in the league and in the stands and watching at home knows what play it's going to be. Brady's going to go over the freaking right side of the center, and he's going to pick up the yardage.
Exactly.
And they can't stop it. So, like, to your point, the guy's 6'5", 280 pounds. It's the biggest quarterback in the league. Just fall
He's
forward.
huge. Just tuck it and go get the first. And the other thing is, you look at Jacksonville coming out and going for it on 4th down right out of the gate, and it's
Hold on, I have to correct you. Saxonville.
I don't know what that means. I'm not even going to entertain that.
Good. You shouldn't.
But they come out there and they go for it. You know what? This trying to draw guys off sides, it's like, it's garbage. It's garbage.
Right, unless you're playing the Jets, and then it will work.
Okay, or the Giants for that matter. But I mean, listen, 4th and 1, they had two opportunities, one early in the game, one later in the game, and then what goes through Haley's mind and Tomlin's mind for that matter when it's a 2-score game at the end? Just kick the field goal. Kick the field goal when you had the What happened there? What was that play at the end? Something happened, and it was just like, we're just going to go for a touchdown. Time expires. No, kick the field goal. You got 40 seconds left. Do an onside kick. Try and get it back.
Well, you need 2 scores, right? So at that point, I agree with you. It's like you know, take the 1 and then you know, go for the Hail Mary and see if you can draw a penalty. Like
these guys just outthink themselves. It's insanity.
I just thought, you know, forget about the end of the game. Like the fact that he put them in such weird situations. Like if you didn't have Ben Roethlisberger and AB on your team, like those 4th downs that turned into miraculous touchdowns they're just turnover on downs. Like some of the plays that were made on 4th down for touchdowns, there's like maybe 6 guys in the whole league that can make those plays. So it's just, I don't know. It just struck me as strange. I'm not really surprised that he was let go. A couple of friends of mine that are Steelers fans were kind of happy that he was let go. I don't know if it's just the sour taste from last week or if it's just, you know, a slow build.
I feel like he's one of those like recycled guys who's kind of, you know, he was with Kansas City as the head coach, and you know, he's been around a long time, but he's like one of those recycled, like a Jim Schwartz type guy, like keeps or like a Mariucci back in the day, like he just keeps popping up, right?
Like he's good enough to be on somebody's staff, but he's not a guy that you're going to be super excited is on your staff.
Yeah, like, oh, can the Giants get him? No.
That being said, he will 100% be the Jets offensive coordinator in like 2 weeks.
That would be an upgrade.
Low and outside, longtime supporter Lane Kiffin. He made a hire today. I don't know if you guys saw this. Go ahead.
Go Owls.
He made a hire today. He hired a new offensive coordinator. It's Charlie Weiss Jr. Yes, of Charlie Weiss, very fat senior. Charlie Weiss Jr. is 24 years old, and he is now the offensive coordinator for Lane Kiffin's Florida Atlantic University Owls.
I'm jealous.
How much does he weigh?
He actually looked thin. If you Google him right now,
yeah, he's pretty fit.
He looks like he's not. He doesn't look anything. I mean, he looks like his dad, but he's not anywhere near as heavy.
You know, here's the thing. It's not a total surprise because Kiffin brought him with him right out of the gate from Bama. They were all working. He was like him and Saban, and they were all together at Bama. And then
I think it was Sark too, because he was just with Atlanta.
Right. And so it's like, remember when he was like on the sidelines with his dad at Notre Dame looking like a dope? He was like 13, 14 years old with a headset on, and we're like, fuck this guy. Yeah, well, he got the last laugh. He's 24. He has a fucking offensive coordinator position.
Maybe that's why they had such a decline. Maybe his dad was letting him call plays.
Listen, I don't even know if this is really who cares. I mean, it's kind of who cares worthy, but good on him for having an OC job at 24. Shit.
I don't know. I don't think he's gonna be doing many play calls. I think Kiffin, you can't be the old guy going out to score coke on your own in Miami. You need a 24-year-old.
Speaking from experience,
I think this is exactly what this job is. I think it's.
Let me get this straight. You think that Lane Kiffin is bringing in Charlie Weiss's kid to score him cocaine in Florida?
Yeah, I think it's plausible. Listen, I think it's plausible. I'm not accusing. I'm certainly not doing that. I'm just saying possibility exists.
Don't be so obtuse. To quote the warden.
It's good. It's good. You know what? Maybe the Weiss kid is on coke because he certainly isn't carrying the weight like his dad.
You just told me he's thin. Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Maybe he'll fit right in. He was in Hotlanta. No, I don't know.
You wouldn't trade places with him right now?
I don't know, man. I'd have
to
spend that much time with Lane Kiffin.
Yes,
I would. I do in a heartbeat. I love Lane Kiffin.
Go Owls.
Just hit the button on this. Don't even finish the sentence.
This one's for you right here.
Oh Christ!
I put in for the two of you. Kid Rock, according to the NHL, will, and I'm using the words the NHL used on Twitter, will headline the NHL All-Star Game.
David, you know how much we love hockey, right? Like,
this is the stupidest thing.
I mean, I worked on this game 3 times. So, I mean, I worked in this event 3 times. And never, ever was there anybody. And never ever was there anybody of substance. So it's not surprising. I mean, I don't think Kid Rock, is it terrible? No. Could it be worse? Maybe.
When I think hockey, I think Kid Rock.
You do?
Like, where? First of all, where's the game?
Tampa. It's in Tampa.
Yeah.
Okay, big hockey town.
It is actually. They're in first place in the league.
It's a pretty nice arena. We were down there, Dave.
I don't
during
remember. Was it a bachelor party?
It was somebody's bachelor party.
Whose bachelor party was that
No.
in Tampa? Maybe I should ask my wife, Joni. Whose
remember
bachelor
whose.
party was that in Tampa? And she's watching through the window like a creep.
It's a I love the arena.
Here's the thing about the entertainment at these NHL events. They've been pretty terrible for a long time. I think in Ottawa, wasn't Drake the guy? Wasn't Drake in Ottawa before it was like Drake was real?
Was it? I just think I remember like Maroon 5. But
When?
I don't know. I could be making that
Here's
up.
this legitimate question, because every other sport is built essentially with like a halftime. Hockey's not built that way. So when does this headliner?
It's like pre or it's between the two intermissions. That's why it's flawed, and that's why they can't get anybody.
It's between like, so he plays during between the first and the second period, leaves, plays again between the second.
I don't
Well,
remember. I mean, I was working. I don't remember.
It's a tournament this year, so it's not like the Eastern It's been a tournament, right, for a couple of years, David.
Yeah.
Right? Like 2 years ago. So it's not like Eastern versus Western Conference, or
Listen.
But does he actually perform like on the in that stadium, or is it? Like,
yeah. So what they'll do is they'll like stop the first game, like the first 3-on-3 team will be done, and then they'll take like 15 minutes, and Kid Rock will be like, "Ball with the ball, the bang, the bang,
We need to
and
see
then,
if Jibo's going.
and then we'll get through it, and then they play the second game.
80 pills a day, bitch. I ain't bullshitting.
All right, who's calling?
I'm so not calm. I'm done with that kid.
So wait, they like literally lay stuff on top of the ice and put a stage there, and then somebody.
Yeah, just like a small little one in the middle. It's not a it's not a huge production. That's part of the problem. I couldn't tell you who was in Nashville because I was blacked out. I don't even know where I was. I was like, this is a disaster. But here's the thing. The only sporting event that really even should have any kind of thing like this is the Super Bowl. That's it. Like the national championship is trying to add the thing. It's like, I don't need to watch Kendrick Lamar outside.
Kendrick Lamar outside at the national championship game is the reason that I wasn't able to stay up and watch the entire national championship.
Exactly.
Well, that's college football.
It's a joke.
I'd much rather watch Kendrick Lamar than them dot the fucking I on Ohio one more time in the marching band that I have to watch 6 Saturdays a year.
At least that's catch. At least that's their thing, right? Like,
I guess.
First of all, I just didn't you totally educated me tonight. I didn't realize that they actually would wheel Kid Rock's
his corpse onto the ice.
Yeah. He is apparently going to run for public office too. So maybe this.
Where, in Michigan?
Yeah, this is maybe where he announces that.
No, this is good. This is where every celebrity decides it's acceptable to be a fucking politician. Great. This is a great country we live in.
This is great. Everything's going very well.
Everything is awesome.
Kawhi Leonard is out indefinitely to a
who cares?
Quad injury that's plagued them all year. He's only played 9 games this year. So
is that why the Spurs are not that good, or not?
They're fine. They're fine, but they're not what a typical Spurs team would be. I just, I'm kind of surprised with Greg Popovich that it's taken this long. Like, what do you do? Just sit the freaking kid down. Like, what are you doing? Whatever. It's January and it's basketball.
Who cares? You want a good intermediary betting, sports betting? Who cares? This is good.
Yeah, of course.
Yours truly bet USF fucking +3 against East Carolina, and they're losing by 40.
By 40?
Yeah.
Where does one even watch that?
On your computer?
On the Ocho, my friend.
I don't really watch. I just sprinkle them across. But who cares? I'm losing.
You're not even watching the actual game. You're just checking like a refresh.
Pretty much.
Okay, so you can't even see the Porsche.
I don't even need to check anymore.
Jeff, you were like, whatever, it's basketball, January. I wanted to like add LeBron in here and talk about him, but I felt the same way after a while. I was like, whatever. Like, it's It's January.
It's meaningless. Like professional basketball is, my wife has this problem with professional basketball. It's like it's just way too and hockey. It's just way too freaking long. Like we're talking about this in January, and then we're gonna also talk about it in May. Like enough. There's just like these seasons could be cut in half. I mean, let's just be fair. It's just
okay, sure.
Mike Mularkey was fired from Tennessee. He just led them to the second round of the playoffs and played the Pats.
Yeah, but he got exposed for the fraud he is in game 2.
He played the Pats. Like,
okay, so he gets a pass.
No,
he played the
my
Patriots?
point is okay. So let's play the game, right? Number one, how many coaches would have gotten exposed? A significant amount.
A majority.
I'd say at least half.
Number two, you're firing the guy as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans.
He was gonna get fired.
Who are you bringing in to replace him that's better?
McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels is going to go there.
Todd Haley.
Yeah, there you go. Todd Haley's available.
Do you think both of those guys are better?
Listen, as a guy whose team is looking, or apparently has decided who they want, there have been a lot of head coaching candidates that are less than desirable. So I get it.
Why make the change? Doesn't make
But he was on the hot seat. He was going to get fired. But Andy Reided himself.
And not just that, Marcus Mariota threw a touchdown pass to himself.
Okay.
Like, take that out.
Couldn't score two. Yeah, the Chiefs couldn't score fucking 2 points. And 3. All they needed is a field goal. They would have won that game. He would have been fired the next day, and we wouldn't have thought twice about it. But because they beat the Chiefs and they made it to the next round, it's like, oh, let's keep him around. He's still as terrible as he was.
Well, the story, whether it's true or not, the story was that they offered him a contract extension, but he had to make significant changes to his staff, and he said no.
Well, good on him for protecting his staff, I suppose. But
what? So he gets fired along with the rest of them? I mean, it's not like he did them.
I don't know. Yeah,
going down with the ship.
He went down with the ship. Yeah, I could respect that if that's true. That's true.
I don't understand the concept of, a guy gets you to the second round of the playoffs and you lose to a team that's, perpetually in the Super Bowl, and you fire the guy.
I'll say this: there had to be somebody they have their eye on, or something that happened that led them to be able to make that decision. I'm thinking it's got to be a McDaniels or a Patricia, even though everyone's saying Patricia's going to the Lions, which I think, by the way, both those guys are nothing without Belichick. Let's be clear about that.
The only guy that I would have been excited about, and it's not going to happen now because he took a job, the only guy I would be excited about to see coach the Tennessee Titans with Marcus Mariota would have been Chip Kelly.
That would have been good.
That I would have enjoyed. I would have liked to have seen if Kelly could have made it work with this guy.
He's never going to come back to the NFL.
Chip Kelly's offense and Dick LeBeau's defense.
Yeah, it's like,
is there a better football name than Dick LeBeau? I mean, Dick Butkus is pretty badass, but Dick LeBeau,
a good one, and he's got the longevity too.
Who cares?
This one is so big that it's international. Korea, the entire peninsula, the entire Korean peninsula is going to be represented as one country at the Olympic Games. They're going to walk in with under one flag. It's going to have a picture of a unified Korea on it. North Korea hasn't played.
We're doing this on purpose.
North Korea hasn't played by any rules. Not only in like civilized rules, like to be a country that anybody would want to talk to, unless you're China or Russia. But they also have not followed any of the rules as far as qualifying athletes to be sent to this game. So the IOC has to basically just be like, yeah, it's cool. Just send like your 8 guys that are going to compete in freaking slalom skiing that aren't going to medal. It's fine.
That's a great strategy by North Korea. They just be like, no, fuck it. We're not following your rules. And then the IOC is like, well, all right, you can come anyway, but next time.
I wonder who sits on that board. Like, from what countries do they sit there? They're like, this freaking lunatic's going to try to bomb the Olympics if we don't let him send his 8 kids that are never going to qualify. Fuck.
I don't know. They're probably the same assholes who are related to the people that ran FIFA. Like, same guys just sitting around getting money in their pockets from cities bidding on them to host events.
It's like the Illuminati of dopey international sports.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's the Illuminati of dopey international sports.
It's the Belluminati.
But that's too long of a title, so they have to have an acronym.
Ugh.
Yuck.
Yucky. AKA.
So we really don't care about that. Is that what?
Who fucking cares?
Whatever, man. I
Cares.
mean, I guess it's cool. I guess it's cool in a way that, like, all right, maybe North Korea is just not being a shithead this time. And
I don't really want to talk about this one. I want to understand why you skipped over the most important one, the one that impacts my life.
All right. It's
Aaron Rodgers and Olivia Munn.
I
mean,
I
Aaron
didn't-
Rodgers and
Purpose.
Danica Patrick.
Yeah.
God, I miss Olivia Munn.
Danica Patrick, I think, confirmed it on Twitter. Isn't that where she confirmed it, or somewhere stupid?
Yeah, yeah. I follow her on Twitter because I'm a creep, or on Instagram, and
Makes sense for
she's
you.
always posting pictures of herself, like working out and videos. It's like sweaty, like chest shots. It's kind of weird. I mean, someone told me.
I was looking for a friend. Does she have any like? Is she still racing? I didn't think she was.
This is she's retiring.
She's retired.
She's doing the Danica double. Sorry, Brett. Go ahead. You know sports.
No,
You know sports.
I don't have any idea what that means.
She's basically dubbed it the Danica double or something like that, where she's going to race in the 500 in February, Daytona 500, and then the Indianapolis 500, and then she's done.
Got it. So she's dubbed it something that
For herself. Yeah, some self-promoting garbage.
that really nobody but apparently now Aaron Rodgers cares about.
I feel like this is a downgrade for Aaron Rodgers. I want to know what went wrong with Olivia Munn.
Brett, you watched The Bachelor. I mean, clearly this is your area.
I did, but one of the subplots on the show that season, if you had watched like I did, was
Hold
the
on.
fact that
Aaron Rodgers was on The Bachelor.
His brother, right?
Jordan Rodgers was on,
Jordan Rodgers,
and
Aaron's
one of
brother.
one of the subplots was that Jordan and Aaron no longer speak, and Aaron is a little estranged from his family. And one of the rumors was the fact that Olivia Munn is the one who caused a rift between Aaron and the Rodgers family.
Come on.
Hang on. I'm pretty comfortable saying that if my brother, he's married now, so he's not going to go on The Bachelor, but I'm pretty comfortable saying that if my brother made the decision to go on The Bachelor, that would be reason enough for me to stop talking to him too.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Whatever.
Who cares?
This one is right up your alley. You want to take it, Yampo?
Oh, I don't even know the first guy. I guess the Mets signed
Yahe, just
Jay Bruce. Fucking Jay Bruce is back in pinstripes and the wrong color ones. You know what kills me about this? If the Yankees had lost to the Indians because of like that Jay Bruce homer and a couple other Jay Bruce things, and then he came back, what the fuck is Jay Bruce? I would have been even more furious that he was a rental for the Indians to beat the Yankees. It was like all the Mets ploy. What the fuck is Jay Bruce?
And who else, Yempo? Who else did the Mets sign?
Aegon. Not the guy from Ghostbusters, Egon, but Aegon.
I don't think anybody's ever called him Aegon.
I don't know why that was so fucking funny.
You made that up.
Gonzo. What is it? What do they call him?
Adrian Gonzalez, I think. I don't think they call
I'll
him.
tell you what they call him. They call him an overpriced has-been.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
These moves don't really like move the needle for me. And like I feel bad for Met fans at times.
The Bruce move, I think, is a decent move, right?
What are you supposed to do when your crosstown rival fucking signed Stanton?
I know. But the Mets are in it's not just that though. You know, they just don't do a good job.
They're not a well-run organized. Yeah, they're not well-run.
No, they're the Mets. I mean, that's what it is. But
Meet the Mets. Greet the Mets. Come
I don't
out to Shea and meet the Mets.
Jeff, I think you go through it with Dolan a little bit, but like it has got to be incredibly frustrating to have an owner that just can't get their heads out of their asses.
But here's the difference. Honestly, because you can accuse Dolan of just being bad at management. He's not the Wilpons because Dolan will spend $100 billion to win.
So what's worse? It's like the devil you know or the devil you don't. The guy that spends all the money badly, or the guy that doesn't spend the money at all.
Right. I mean, you got to remember, this is a guy that at one point had Steve Francis and Stephon Marbury on the same roster. They're both making like $24 million or something insane. So like he would spend money. That's not the issue. The issue is that he kept putting, pinheads in charge, like Isaiah and then Phil Jackson and Layden before that. I mean, like he's never had somebody of any kind of competence running the team. And clearly on the other side, on the hockey side, he put Sather in place. Say what you want about him. I don't love Glenn Sather, but he's done a good job. He's made that franchise pretty respectable, especially when you look at it in comparison to the Knicks. But the Wilpons they got swindled by Madoff. And ever since then, like they're not spending, an appropriate amount of money for a New York team.
What's the time? What's the statute of limitations for us to stop mentioning the fact that Madoff was involved with the Wilpons? Like, how many more years? Because you're right, Jeff. I consistently
what is the last year that they have to pay Bobby Bonilla?
That's like, honestly, the
2025,
close to the year we die, dude. It's like
whatever.
A long time.
I'm serious. Whatever the last year is they have to pay Bonilla is when we can stop talking about it, because that is the reason they signed that contract. Was because of the investments they had with Madoff. Was they knew that they had a guarantee that they were always going to be making money, so they could just write it off that way. That's why
but it's a small. I mean, not small. Look, but they write him. It's 1.125 million every July 18th or whatever. Like, that's not crippling to a Major League Baseball owner.
Okay, but the NBA has this new thing in their CBA that they put in a couple of years ago called the stretch provision, where you can take a player that you don't really want anymore,
like stretch their contract.
You can stretch their contract out. Yeah. That's essentially what they did with Bonilla. Like they turned his 1-year deal into like a 40-year deal.
I give props for Bonilla for the foresight to just be like, yeah, I'll do that. Like, it must have been hard to say yes to from where they'd be like, you can have $80 million right now or $1 million for the next 80 years.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
And that's tough, man.
He essentially
like the lottery.
Yeah, it's a lottery.
He took the annuity, is what he.
Which is stupid. You should always take the lump sum.
I disagree.
No, how could you? Okay, hold on. How could you possibly disagree with that?
Financially, makes sense. You can never predict what happens in life. You could be dead in 3 years.
That's what I'm saying. You take the money today.
Take the lump sum.
Oh, you were saying? Oh, sorry.
Jesus, I was about to just absolutely disown you as a friend.
I thought you were arguing for taking the annuity.
No,
my bad.
So
it's okay.
So you would in fact take the lump sum.
And 100% every day.
Who cares, man? I've become so good at just locking it up towards the last couple minutes of the segment. But
I haven't hit you in a while.
I could have teed you up really nicely with the. You could have asked me what the final score was of that USF game. I would have blurted it out for you. They only lost by 38.
What did you have? What was you took what for that game?
I had USF +3.
Oh my God, that's not even close.
It should have been +40.
Holy cow.
That's all right. I'm on Creighton -4. It's your boys.
Where the game's at Creighton, right?
Yeah, that's the only reason.
They're gonna beat them.
I also was teased by the Knicks. The Knicks were -2 on the road. What's up with that?
They're bad. They're a bad basketball team right now. I don't know what's going on.
But they whooped the Nets. All right, football.
Yeah, we got the championship weekend here. Let's do it. You want to do AFC first?
Sure.
Let's do that. Why don't you go through the line here for us for the?
Why don't we let Brett just talk about his fucking football team and be an asshole for like 5 minutes? A little soliloquy.
You could do that. It's up to you. We can start with the gambling line. Let's start with the line.
Let's start with the gambling. The early line was 9.5 right out of the gate. It's moved down to 9 even. You always buy the hook though. Okay, you can't lose by 9.5, so you always buy the hook.
Right. What does that cost if you like to buy half a point?
So if you're betting if it's -110 to win 100, that's the hook costs you an extra $10, so it's -120. So you lay out $120 to win 100.
To win 100, got it.
Yeah. So the public money right now is on Jacksonville.
The public is stupid.
So today I bought in on New England -9 even money, which means I put a 200 down to win 200.
That's like a a solid investment.
I cleaned up on the Pats last Saturday. I was just betting in-game line. Tennessee scored that touchdown, went up 7-0. I went right immediately for the fucking new in-game line that moved from Pats minus 925 to minus 300. I was like all over it. I'm in.
I don't even know what any of that means.
The money line is just whoever's going to win. You pick the money line based on who you think is going to win.
Right.
And it was so ridiculously slanted in the Pats' favor before the game at minus 925. That means I had to lay out $925 to win 100.
Yeah, that's not good.
But when Tennessee scored, shit went fuzzy for a little bit. People got nervous, and the in-game live betting moved. Anyway, I cleaned up on the Pats last week. I'm sticking with the Pats. I just don't see Jacksonville coming to New England in January. This is one of the last opportunities. Let's be real about this. This is potentially one of the last opportunities for the Pats to win the Super Bowl.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
I do. It'll never end.
Tom Brady's not a fucking Terminator. You cannot cheat old man time. Father Time will catch you.
Undefeated.
I don't
Undefeated what?
Father Time.
Yeah, exactly. Not
No.
Tom Brady.
until now.
I don't know.
Father Time's balls are deflated. That's all I have to say.
Anyway, I was surprised that the public money is all in Jacksonville because Jacksonville's +9 and it's minus 120. So you got to bet 120 to win 100 on Jacksonville +9, which tells me all the public is betting on Jacksonville.
The public is stupid. I mean, that's just it. All right. Here's what we'll do, because I know what you're going to contribute to this conversation. Let's just get it over with. Go ahead and tell us that Jacksonville's a solid opponent, that their defense is stout, and Blake Bortles is sneaky.
No, I mean, he's a good, he's a qualified guy, and I think that they're a good team. I mean,
you don't even have to do the bit, because that's what he's about to say. So just go ahead and say it. Go.
He ran close to 100 yards against Buffalo. Of course, he's sneaky. You got that type of quarterback play scares you. I won't do that.
Play scares you.
The guy that can move, the guy that can really, even if you do a solid job of taking some options away, if you don't have enough pressure up front, he can slide out of the pocket and beat you for 8 to 10 yards. That's scary sometimes. Listen.
Yes, it's scary, except for the fact that while he's in the pocket, he can't beat you for 8 to 10 yards. So that's not really all that frightening.
I don't know what type of Jacksonville offense is going to show up in New England. I really don't. For the past 2 months, I have been saying when anybody has brought up playoffs and the Patriots going in through the AFC, I have consistently said the one team that I think that can beat New England is Jacksonville. With that said, I think I'm with you guys. I
what do you mean? It's your team. Of course you are.
No, listen, last year in the AFC Championship game, I argued the fact that the Steelers could beat the Patriots. I said a bounce would go Pittsburgh's way when they typically goes New England's way, and the Steelers were going to advance to the Super Bowl. So I'm not trying to play just the New England card here. I do think Jacksonville's a very good team. I think if they weren't a good team, especially their defense, they wouldn't be where they are. Find another team in the AFC that, like, who else is up there in that caliber? There's a bunch of shit in the AFC. They're a decent team. They really are, but
they're not.
I don't know. I don't believe that they are experienced enough to go in, but maybe that's a benefit to Jacksonville. Maybe it's the fact that, hey, what they don't know can't hurt them, and ignorance is bliss type of thing, where they just don't know the situation that they're in. They just go out and lay a pounding on New England. But I don't know. Tom Brady's hand got hurt today in practice.
I don't know why anybody is within 100 feet of him in a drill. Like, there should be no live anything near him.
I do agree. He should probably have a 3-foot fence around him at all times wherever he goes. But the way they're making it sound doesn't sound insane.
It better not be, because I just bought on the line.
But I do respect them. I think they're a very good team. I think defensively they can give them problems. There's a lot. I mean, Dave, you watch 2 giant teams with a very good defense.
Listen, we know the recipe to beat the Pats. Everybody knows,
right?
Giants, the Ravens have it, and the Steelers have had it. Okay. That being said, if you go back and watch any kind of film or any kind of semblance, if you have a football mind and you played the game and you've been involved, you can watch what Buffalo did to dial up pressure and take away Fournette, and watch what the Steelers did. They let Fournette run all over him, and they had 0 pressure on Bortles. You take away the run game and put this game on Bortles, it's over. I mean, Look at what happened with Tennessee. All right. They were giving him time. They were kind of playing cat and mouse with him a little bit. Drove down the field, scored a touchdown. Then all of a sudden, the light went off. They cranked up the pressure. And Tom Brady just started calling plays. And they just put their foot on their throat and said, all right, sorry, little brother. Game's over. Like, I'm not fucking around anymore. And so I just, if you take away the running game, this team becomes one-dimensional, and you're going to see the Blake Bortles who couldn't hit a fucking 2-yard screen pass against Buffalo 2 weeks ago.
I do agree with you that if you take away the run game, I very rarely see that from a Patriot defense. I very rarely see them shut down a runner. So
they did a good job with Derrick Henry.
Okay, Derrick Henry, who was a backup before DeMarco Murray got.
Okay, but let's look at Fournette's stats. He's
Leonard Fournette is
Steeler killer.
I mean, but Leonard Fournette, yes, he's a rookie, so we don't have years of NFL experience to go on. But I mean, the guy was a beast in college. He's a beast in the NFL. I enjoyed having him on my fantasy team this year.
Listen, Yeldon's playing well too. For what it's worth, he played really well last week.
That just the whole shutting down the run aspect, you know, with very good backs has not been something that I typically see, and I think that kind of worries me a little bit. I think if they keep pressure on Bortles and do a great job on the receivers, that can they just let Fournette carry the ball a little bit and not get burned? Yeah.
You got to take away the middle of the field and the tight end game. You take that away and it's over.
Yeah.
He kept hitting Lewis on all kinds of shit, crossing patterns and 8-10 yard slants, just killing the fucking Steelers. I mean, they must have been playing the softest zone of all time.
And I think if I was a betting, or if I was guess, I think that's where Belichick will go. I think that would be more of his game plan rather than let's shut down Fournette.
I just think there's too much experience. There's too much talent. There's too much. I just think they're just so superior in so many different facets of the game on and off the field that Jacksonville's had a great year. They should be pretty jazzed up to be where they are. But I don't see the Patriots. This is a 2-score win for me, I think.
Jacksonville stinks. I don't care how many wins they've had. I don't care what they did last week. Jacksonville came into MetLife Stadium and lost to the Jets. Jacksonville stinks on ice, and there's a 0% chance they're going to go into New England and even hang with this Patriot team.
Hop on that bet. Hop on the train.
It's just not going to happen. This is a 14 to 21 point victory. This game will be over at the half. It's not even going to be close because they'll put up a double-digit lead, and then they have no choice but to put the game on Bortles' shoulders, and he absolutely can't do it.
Here's to hoping from your lips to God's ears, brother.
Turn to college football expert. We haven't heard from him since we rebranded.
Who?
Do you have one?
Sean Farrell checking in. He says he likes the new view from Yampo's Playroom. Followed up by promptly 1 minute afterwards. I can't believe I'm wasting my data plan on this dumpster fire. So we appreciate.
You know it's bad when an own member of your show is calling it a dumpster fire.
Is he even part of the show anymore? I mean, the guy is just totally topped out. He's like at the Winter Classic, and he's like partying down in Atlanta, hanging out with Herbie.
I think it's fair to assume that when your college football expert doesn't come on to break down either the college football playoff or the national championship game before or after either has happened, that he might not be interested in being part of your program anymore.
I would say, okay, guest.
Just,
you know what's even better is I tried calling him multiple times throughout the course of my life, and he just doesn't engage.
See, I'm pretty confident if I was to call him, he'd answer.
All right, both you take out your phones right now.
He'll never pick up.
Yeah, he'll pick up. Fine, you call.
No, he won't pick up because he's listening to the show.
No, I'm not going to call now. It's a moot point.
Okay.
Why? I don't know, but it is.
You want me to call?
No, I don't want to. Listen, Sean, if you're listening, I love you. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Call me back.
Sean, if you're listening.
Scott, if you're listening, go fuck yourself.
Thinking about you. Come on to a meeting and doing this before I go.
Whatever, yeah, Paul.
Scenes from Sean's Saturday night in Atlanta.
Yuck.
Scenes from Charlie Weiss Jr. and Lane Kiffin hanging out.
Go Owls.
All right, so we all agree that the Patriots are going to curb stomp the Jags, and that the public's dumb.
I don't think it's going to be close either. Like whatever. NFC, I think to me is way more of a wild card. Like I
pun intended.
This one. Why is it a pun?
I don't know. It was just football terminology.
I don't think either of those teams is a wild card team.
No, they were the number 1 and 2 seats.
I think that's a pun. What do you got here? You got the Eagles are giving 3.
Yeah.
So that's essentially
take the points.
Right. That's essentially a pick 'em because doesn't the home team usually get 3?
Yeah. This is the second time this is just disrespectful
to Philly.
Yeah, and they kind of like it. They love this heel role. They are like the best heel of all time.
They're all wearing dog masks this week.
That was unbelievable. Here's the thing. I want to bet on this game only because there's only 3 games left in the year to bet on, but I cannot bring myself to root for Philly. I just can't do it. I can't do it. It'd be like you rooting for the Patriots, Jeff.
It wouldn't.
I got a text from Jeff last weekend that said "Go Pats."
Oh, maybe that was sarcastic. Here's the thing.
That text did exist, but it was not an authentic representation.
The rhetoric about Matt Ryan and the Falcons, they weren't that good anyway, and they had an inconsistent year. That's bullshit. Okay, they went in. No, hear me out. This is why everyone was counting them out against the Rams, and they went to LA and they beat the Rams. They didn't throttle them. I know it was 26-10, but they put up 26 points and whatever. They came to Philly, and Philadelphia's defense shut the goddamn door on these guys and shut it hard. Okay. They knew it was going to have to be a low-scoring affair. They knew that their defense was going to have to win this game because Nick Foles is a piece of shit. Okay. They traded the guy away for Sam fucking Bradford, and now he's back, and their Super Bowl hopes lie on the shoulders of this guy. No, it's on the defense, and I do not see Case Keenum coming into Philly in one of the most hostile places to play at 6:00 on a cold fucking Sunday in January. And him having the success that he has on a regular basis in a dome. I don't see it.
But have you seen, like, there's no way you could have foresaw Case Keenum having anywhere near the year that he had at all, right? I mean, so like he's totally played,
Yes, he's thrown some dimes.
Apart from the back of his football card, so to speak, right? I mean, he's not shown any kind of flashes of anything close to this until this year.
I get it, but if you're an Eagles fan, how jazzed were you when that play happened? Because the person I didn't want to see coming in is Drew Brees.
Right, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's Dave. That was our pick to go to the Super Bowl, and they still but not for a freak play.
Which was awesome.
It was great. It was amazing. But
not only was that play awesome, but the photoshops
that
have taken place of that missed tackle since it's happened are equally as entertaining.
And the gambling heartache that was tied to that debacle.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that rule for a second? I hate it.
Why?
I just don't understand it. Like, I'm cool with them taking a knee there. I don't understand why you have to kick it.
Well, they did take a knee.
I know.
Which is I'm sitting next to my buddy who has Saints plus 5.5. Right? And he's riding high. He's like, it's over. Fuck it, it's over. And then the ball goes into fucking Diggs' hand, and Williams gets stone cold stunnered. And
no, Manti Te'o's girlfriend.
Manti Te'o's girlfriend pushed him, and holy shit, he scores. And he's like, I'm still good. I'm like, no, it's regulation. They are going to kick the extra point. But of course, all rules go out the window. Apparently, when you score a touchdown with 0 seconds left, people are throwing their helmets. There's 300 people on the field. It's like all rules just go out the window. There's penalties galore. You're not supposed to be able to take your helmet off. You're not supposed to be able to throw your shit in the stands. But
the game was over.
It wasn't. There was still one more play.
That play is stupid. It serves no purpose.
Well, it's not stupid to the hundreds of thousands of people and people in Vegas who
I know, but there should be no rule in there that's for gamblers.
I know. But for them to then run all the way back out onto the field and then just take a knee. Oh my God.
Especially for New Orleans to come back on the field.
Oh, they just sent their punter out. Did you see that? They're like,
yeah,
first 11 guys, get your ass out there.
You could not I would have been like, fine, you cut me. I'm not going back out there. So,
but why? Why do they have to run that play? Why?
I don't know.
They shouldn't have to, but from a gambling perspective, it was so unbelievably intriguing for me. I didn't bet on the game, so
I totally understand that. But realistically, I understand having to run that play if it's a
If it's a
max-
under a 2-point game.
a 2-point game,
Right.
right? Because at the worst case scenario, then a fumbled snap, a turnover, run back to the other end zone, it's worth 2 points. So there's a
Yeah, it'd have to be 2 or nothing. It'd have to be 2 or less. Yes.
Right.
or less. So the fact that it was not, it was a 5-point game. Why are we doing it?
Well, don't be surprised if they look at this in the offseason and kind of say, all right, maybe this is a rule change worth invoking. And it's pretty simple. Don't roll your eyes. It's pretty simple.
No, I agree with you.
I'm rolling my eyes because like this is among a million other things they need to freaking take a look at, because like that game was ridiculous.
Dude, they all 4 games were ridiculous. We can't watch everything over and over and over and over.
Ratings were down across the board because people are tired of
Fake news.
People are tired of not standing for that goddamn national anthem.
I think that might have been part of it at first, but I think people are coming around to a lot of the stuff that we've been saying, in the sense that a lot of this, what's a catch, what's not a catch, what's a turnover, what's not a turnover, we're reviewing all, like, I think people are they're not tired of it, but it's not as entertaining as the league was 3 or 4 years ago. It's not.
It's such a weird spot to be in, man. Like, I completely agree with you, but I always come back to that question. Like, if you have the technology to get it right, why not use it?
Because they're not getting it right.
Because they're misusing it.
No, because the rule, exactly, because they're misusing it because the rules are shitty. And therein lies the problem.
I don't think they're misusing it. You can't watch a play
in Yesmo
in 1/1000th of a time and be like, oh, right there in the complete frozen stage, the tip of the ball hits the ground, no catch. Like, no, you have to watch that play at live speed and say, did touching the ground impact it? Did he have his hand? Like, it's just, we've just gotten way too complex. Oh boy.
Are we talking Lane Kiffin?
That was like an hour ago.
Like an hour ago.
All right. See you guys later.
Okay.
Oh,
I honestly don't know how to turn this off.
You better stay on
from the ashes.
Hey, Wrigley, if you can see Wrigley, it's back there.
No, I missed
hold on. We did have a question, and Sean checking in here. I need you to answer this question. So Yampo was telling a story. I don't know if you had checked out of your data plan when we were going over it. He was telling a story how he's tried to call you a couple times and that you just won't take his call.
Naturally.
True story or fake?
Yeah. True story. I never want to talk to him live.
Right. So I said to him, so he's like, oh, he's just a bad guy, essentially is what he was saying. And my take was, I'm pretty confident that if I was to call him, he would answer the phone.
Did you not see my Facebook reply?
What was your Facebook reply?
I said, Jeff, yes. Brett, yes. Yampo, no.
Good.
From the guy who came all the way up to hang out with me at a bar in Atlanta. You can pick up the goddamn phone every once in a while.
First of all, that was after like 12 calls, and I felt obligated because I was worried about you personally.
I was with my wife.
Oh, now I see Wrigley.
And secondly,
there you go.
And secondly, how could you turn down all that free beer that Yampo was buying?
Right? Like, it's a tough one for me because that's a huge sell.
Right. I mean, you don't ever drink for free.
That was the hook. That was the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck off.
Actually, I just realized I don't want to walk to the Marquee Sun and talk to you guys anymore. So, thank you.
All right.
I wish we were talking Lane Kiffin. I'm sure it was good.
Well,
but,
do you have an opinion on him hiring Charlie Weiss's kid as the offensive coordinator?
Oh yeah, brilliant. Brilliant work.
That's what I said.
The FAU AD just got hired at Washington State, I think. So he's obviously clearly made a bunch of good decisions about hiring good talent, and we should see some good things on Northwest.
Are you putting in for the job?
No, but I hate to say this. His first order of business was dealing with a quarterback that committed suicide, which is terrible.
No bueno.
Well, thanks for bringing the show down. We appreciate it. Right.
No, that's what I'm here for. You guys call me anytime. Friend of the show, not a participant. And there's a bar. I'll see you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
He can figure out how to hang up, which he can't.
He can't.
Fuck, I can't do it.
Just turn your phone off.
Just hit end.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Welcome to the technological era. It's a good time.
What do you put it on mute?
I don't know what he did. Who cares?
Well, we already did that segment. Who cares?
Just for real, right there.
Philadelphia +3. Okay,
You're taking the Eagles.
if I was gonna bet on the game, and I haven't decided, but if I were, I don't see how I could go against the Eagles +3 at home.
Bubby, you have a.
Sorry, I was playing HQ Trivia.
What?
I was playing this trivia app.
We are off the rails.
Yeah, whatever. We'll talk about it. Anyway, yeah, sorry, I got distracted. I don't know. I saw Case Keenum make a lot of terrible throws last week. A lot of terrible throws.
Terrible.
So I initially when I saw this, I was like, you know what? The Vikings defense is for real. And they're good. And if he can, play a short field position type of thing, or be fortunate to get a 3 touchdowns, then I don't see the Eagles competing with that, because Nick Foles is even worse. If you guys remember, Nick Foles lost his job to Case Keenum in LA last year after they traded for Sam Bradford, I think. So
who are you rooting for?
I would be probably pulling.
Assuming at 3, the 3:05 game goes your way.
I can't do it. You know what? I'm not even a Giant fan. I can't do it. Fuck the Eagles. Fuck Philadelphia.
There you go. Good boy.
So, hey, let's see a Super Bowl with a team playing a home game.
That would be a cool little storyline. My only issue with this, and I thought at the minute that that ridiculous ending to the Minnesota New Orleans game happened, is we are going to see a Super Bowl with either Nick Foles or Case Keenum.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point the Nick Foles version is worse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like he wasn't even planning to ever do anything until Wentz went down, obviously. So it's like at least Keenum, has been playing all year and has been carrying that team. And
if you're the NFL and you're in a year where your ratings have been down across the board, you've got to be like shitting your pants that Minnesota and Jacksonville don't end up in that game. Like, because that would be just a nightmare.
Oof.
Jacksonville and anybody is a nightmare for you. But like, I feel like the Patriots are going to draw, not because of New England, because people just want to tune in to see them lose.
Not only that, but they're the Yanks. You know what I mean? Like, or they're the Red Sox. They're,
I mean, like you'd be watching a Game 7 of the World Series with the Yankees, rooting against the Yankees, even if they weren't playing your team.
Right.
So
my mother knows who Tom Brady is. She has no idea who Case Keenum or Nick Foles is.
Right.
You know
right.
I mean? Like, so it doesn't matter. Or Blake Bortles, for that matter.
Yeah.
I think it'd be good to see Minnesota be the first team to ever make it back and play a home game as the host of the Super Bowl.
I would take Minnesota. I think they're going to win the game.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to bet on that game just so I can violently root against the Eagles.
I think Minnesota wins the game, and I think Case Keenum gets paid. I don't know who's going to do it.
Stupidly.
He's going to get paid very, very stupid.
And then how big of an advantage is that for Minnesota to be playing at their home field in the Super Bowl against the Pats? I could see them beating New England there.
The only advantage it would be is that they wouldn't have to travel.
They don't travel, the familiar, the routine.
No, I get all that, but it wouldn't be a home crowd.
Yeah, that's what I agree with. Like, it's not really a home field event. It's one of the few times it's one of the few times I heard Francesa rant on this topic, and actually was like, "Yeah, guy makes a lot of points." I kind of agree with him.
Okay. All right.
Is the fact that this game is given to so many businesses and corporations. The tickets are allocated so far out that this is not.
I understand that, but you guys aren't thinking about something. All these people don't have to travel. Okay, when you go to see your team in the Super Bowl, you typically have to travel. All these people, this is the home team playing at their stadium in the Super Bowl. These people will pay more money on the secondary market for tickets.
Stop. You're touching the money. Stop. You're touching the money.
What do you mean I'm touching the money?
I mean, you're touching the money. You're legitimately sending the karma scale over to Philadelphia right now. So just let's wait until after this week, and then we'll have this conversation if they're in fact.
Okay.
Fair point.
With that point.
Hang on, bartender. Give me one more of those Scotch and Peptos. I got a case of squirts, but I still want to drink.
Last call.
All right. Let's go around the horn. Yampa, you got anything that we have not touched on tonight that you would like to discuss?
Oh, I wish I did. I mean, I guess I could ask the question about teams being able to announce or things coming out about guys going places as head coaches or assistant coaches when their teams are still playing. That kind of drives me nuts. Like Pat Shurmur is 1 win away as the offensive coordinator of the Vikings from playing in the Super Bowl. And it's like, well, he's going to be the head coach of the Giants next year. It's like, don't do that. Don't do that.
But you think they shouldn't be allowed to do that?
They shouldn't.
Because they're not allowed. So like
I know.
Is speculation. You know,
I don't get it. I mean, say that again.
That it's all it is right now. I mean, even if it is legitimate, all it is media speculation. Same thing with Patricia in Detroit.
Like, I get it, but
allowed to announce anything. But I think they should just be allowed to announce it, and then it goes away.
I agree.
How many times have these things been announced like this and then not come to fruition?
That's what I mean. So just announce it, sign the contract, and let them finish their obligation for this year, and then we wouldn't be talking about it.
I guess. it feels like that whole thing with college football too. It's like, you know, I don't know. Guys leave at the end of the season, and they don't even coach the bowl game that they brought their. It's like, I don't know. It's disingenuous. Maybe it's just me kind of grasping for straws as a fan, being like, you're the fucking. Can you please be focused and involved in what you're doing here, and not focused on the fact that you are going to be the New York Giants head coach next year? We're 1 fucking win away from the Super Bowl.
You got to be excited about that hire too, right? It's probably a good hire.
Really? Do I have to be?
No, you don't.
I mean, there's
Brett. What do you got?
Give me Hugh Jackson for Christ's sake.
Okay. Can we talk about how hilarious it was that Trevor Ariza and Chris Paul and James Harden pushed into the Clippers locker room last night to like try and fight them? Did you guys hear about this?
It's even funnier that Ariza and Green got two games, but Chris Paul apparently got none.
Yeah, and Harden, they were like, they were trying to break it up,
right?
So they got none. We'll give the Stars 0 games,
right? But Trevor, really...
this is the stupidest thing in the world. I guess this Chris Paul just must hate the Clippers, huh? Like there must be some serious bad blood there. I don't know.
Just so dumb.
I think it just probably comes from the fact that it's stupid Doc Rivers' kid that's like always starting shit, and you got to be like, dude, you're a fucking scrub. You're only on this team because your dad's here. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know.
He's not bad. He's not bad, but he's not like a, you know, he's not even like a mid roster guy. He's an end of the bench guy.
Exactly. He's an end of the bench guy. Yeah. So
everybody needs him.
Jarvis Landry. This one's for Nikki who couldn't join us tonight. Jarvis Landry is he's unsure why the talks with the Dolphins have stalled, but he's not happy about it, and he feels disrespected.
Poor Landry.
What's his contract situation? Because in my opinion, underrated wide receiver. I believe he leads the league in like receptions almost every year.
He had a very good year, yeah. Especially for having to play with Jay Cutler. Yeah. He can become an unrestricted free agent in March. And he led the league in receptions with 112.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's sneaky good. I feel like he's like wasting away down there.
He might be sneaky good, but if you lead the league in receptions with 112 and you can't crack 1,000 yards, that's a problem.
Yeah, well, I mean, the ball. Exactly. That might be an offensive problem. And Jeff, you might have a point to that as well. Like maybe that's just because he's not a very long route runner and his use is running 3-yard slants across the middle. You know, like maybe. But
all I know is for years, you know, Wes Welker was racking up catches and he was breaking 1,000-yard seasons. So, you know,
very good yak. Very good yak.
Right.
He has great yak. Oh, I thought you were talking about the coach in Miami.
He's got
yak like cocaine.
Huge yak. You know what I'm saying?
Have you been listening to his picks on the Ringer?
I'm a big fan of the yak. Yeah.
Yes, I heard one that was just disastrous. What did I hear? The Eagles won last week. That was.
There was one that was really There was one It was like his first one with Simmons, and he's like de facto on like 3 or 4 games. So I'm like, all right, I'll give Francesa a try. 0 for 3.
I never said that.
He's like, the Eagles at home. I'm not even gonna try and do it any justice. But he was all over the Eagles, and then they lost to Dallas 6-0.
I never said that.
Bill Simmons is calling it joining us from hibernation, not retired, but hibernation.
He's been making the rounds everywhere. He was on Barstool Radio this morning.
Yeah, I heard. It was all right. Well,
I didn't hear. I truthfully didn't hear it. But they launched their own radio station today on Sirius, which was pretty crazy for them.
Yeah, it's on.
I guess we're next.
It's on Sirius. Who's listening?
Me, probably. What channel?
Yeah.
Power 85.
As far as I'm concerned, the only thing that's good on Sirius is Ron Bennington. Everything else can be turned off. Trash.
What about classic vinyl?
Yuck.
Or deep tracks. You're here with.
Who cares?
Blowing
Sean's gonna have some deep tracks in his underwear if he hangs out at the bar too late.
Welcome to Deep Tracks with your host, Brett.
We're getting close to that time of the year for another segment of Just the Tips, Valentine's Day edition.
We are getting close to.
You better start writing. You better start writing.
Yeah, I got to start working on some content for the second annual Valentine's edition of Just the Tips.
The greatest segment of all time.
It was so great that we haven't done it again.
That we've done it once.
That and fucking John Anthony.
This is John Anthony here. I'm the $1 million man with a $1 billion plan. From Wall Street to Tokyo to Hollywood, all your big money is going to stay and play with me. That's right. That's why they call me the $1 million man.
Whatever, yeah, Paul. Or not. Stick with me,
fast.
Pat Sajak. I'm about as cold as it is outside right now in gambling.
You stink. Thanks for taking the time, everybody. We'll catch you next week.
Desperandum, dear lady. Across the desert lies the promised land. Goodbye, Mrs. Gloop. Adieu. Auf Wiedersehen. Gesundheit. Farewell.
Fare thee well to you, my own true love. River Mercy, fare thee well. I am bound for California, a place that I know right well. So fare thee well, my own.
Hello?
Hello?
I love how the only segment that's stuck is who cares?
Better to have one segment than no segments.
We basically this show was called Who Cares Championship.
Who cares a little bit of sports?
Who cares League Championship?
We won't talk baseball to the ALCS and NLCS.
We should just start telling Paul.
I don't know if you know that. Baseball's right around.
It's almost baseball season, Paul.
There's another. I was actually going to send a text today that was saying over under appearances on the show in 2018 1.5. Sean or Paul?
I'll take the over on Sean. He's already hit one.
I know. Well, yeah, but this was before that would have happened.
You gotta figure that out and send it out. That you have to adjust it now that Sean's been on the show.
Yeah, just live game line 3.5. I'd still take the over. He's good for a couple early ones in the fall.
Sean,
yeah, he will. Yeah, like week 1, 3, and 4 or 5, he'll be in.
Well, if we still exist, if Jeff decides. Last week was the first week you didn't do a show in how long?
I don't know. I seriously for like 2.5 weeks. I just could not get healthy. I just couldn't speak. I kept losing my voice. It was awful.
We just can't run the show without you. It would just be like Brett and I. It would just be a disaster.
I did it once. I did host one time.
I remember that. And I never want to be reminded of it ever again.
There was no segments. It was just he didn't care.
I'm pretty sure it was me, Sean, and the White Man or something, and we were just.
No, it was still Ras was still around, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was still around, but I don't think he was in it. I honestly think the show was me, Sean, and White Man. It was a very rare show. That's deep in the. That's a little cut from Deep Tracks.
Deep Tracks.
I'm glad that this is just at least turned into let's just do it for shits and giggles.
Yeah, I mean, it's so.